Good morning. Welcome to another video here. Let me ask y'all a quick question. Have y'all ever been tired, maybe exhausted, a little fearful, or another unhealthy emotion while in a relationship with a partner where you could have been in a toxic relationship? So in this video, we're going to discuss 5 signs that you are in a toxic relationship and a few tips to go along once you've established that you're in a toxic relationship to help you. So let's go ahead and go downstairs and get this day started, shall we?
Well, let's go ahead and get into the first sign that you have a toxic relationship, and that is your partner is always argumentative. All right, so when I say argumentative, I don't mean just a normal way of arguing that couples would. I mean, there's a lot of arguments where it may go with the small items, as in picture of the room is not all right, or maybe the smell in the house is not to their liking, maybe the channel's not on the right channel, or whatever it is. They just always are argumentative over things that we don't have to argue about. All right, so the first sign of being argumentative leads us into the second sign, and that is toxic style communication. Now, what do we mean by toxic style communication? That means that there's always a blame going on as to why something's happening the way it is, and when you try to approach your partner, maybe y'all were arguing, or maybe you're just trying to figure out what's wrong, they always try to throw it in your face as maybe it's something you're doing wrong. And so whenever you have a toxic style of communication and somebody is also argumentative, it's very difficult in order to communicate your wants, needs, and all that good stuff, because they have a toxic way of communicating with you. All right, so the first sign was that your partner is very argumentative, and the second sign was a toxic style of communication. Now, the third sign that you might be in a toxic relationship is excessive lying by your partner. All right, so excessive lying by your partner, any kind of lying, especially the small stuff that doesn't need to be lied about, such as, maybe who they are talking to on the phone, maybe text messaging, maybe it could be about somebody, someone, something. They just generally lie about everything, and that's a pretty good sign that you're in a toxic relationship. All right, now on to the fourth sign that you might be in a toxic relationship, and that is you are afraid to upset your partner. Now, upsetting your partner, I don't mean on a intentional level. I don't mean you're purposely doing things to upset your partner or anything else. I mean you are pretty much tiptoeing around. You don't want to, say anything out of context because of how upset your partner gets at all the small, unreasonable things that people get upset about. Maybe it's words, maybe it's an action, maybe it's whatever the case, but your partner just seems to get upset very easily, and that is also a pretty good sign that you may be in a toxic relationship, so keep that in mind. Alright guys, well, we made it to the fifth and final sign that your relationship might be toxic. But before we get to that fifth and final sign, if you've got some value out of this video and you made it this far, please hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on, as I release 2 new videos every week and you don't want to miss them. And I have a lot of new stuff coming soon, so you can be seeing a different format, a different
level video upgrades and all that good stuff. So hope you enjoy those. Now on to the fifth and final sign that your relationship might be toxic, which is your partner does not care about your feelings, your wants, or your needs. Alright, so this stems with the other 3 and 4 of the signs that we just went over earlier in the video: toxic communication and argumentation and all that stuff. Because if they're doing all the above, then that means they don't really care about your wants, your needs, your desires, and that is a pretty big part and a red flag of a toxic relationship. So, and it may be the final contributor of what you need in order to determine if it's toxic. Now, the few tips that I can give to you if you have established you have a toxic relationship is don't think that it's ever going to get better, because in general, people who are toxic or in a relationship, they generally will stay that way, right? And remember, people can never change exactly who they are. They can just become better versions of themselves. All right, so always keep that in mind whenever you think something may get better while you're in a relationship. All right, number 2 is, once again, try to communicate to your partner about your needs, your wants, your desires, and instead of trying to communicate in a way that may start an argument, be sincere and show that you really are trying to work on the relationship, and see if your partner is willing. Most of the time when you're in a toxic relationship, it's not going to happen. They're going to be passive aggressive, maybe throwing it back at your face, maybe trying to blame you for it, maybe just don't want to hear it, don't want to communicate, don't want to do anything to fix the relationship. So whenever you are considering all the above signs, make sure, and first and foremost, you figure out what it is that you want in a relationship, and see if that partner of yours can actually fulfill your wants, needs, and desires. Because in toxic relationships, unfortunately, it usually is a means to an end. So the faster you determine that, the faster you can get out of it, the faster you can move on and create the relationship and life that you desire. So once again, if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you. Stay tuned for more content on relationships, career coaching I do as well, and also in the areas of fitness. I'm going to start posting my transformation videos of my fitness goals over the next several months. So remember, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss those. Stay tuned. Other than that, make sure you always strive to live your life the way that you want to live it, and make sure that you inspire to empower your choice in order to love who you're with, love what you do, and love how you feel. Until the next video, we'll talk soon.